The Florida State Builders Area Pro Series heads into the first of 5 rounds of its postseason. It all begins here at Bristol, the last great Coliseum, the world's fastest half mile. It doesn't seem to matter what you call it. The challenge remains high banks, multiple grooves, and tonight it is going to be 188 laps here in Bristol. Kyle Heyer joined by Hunter Sleppy and Connor Horn tonight. Guys, welcome aboard. This is a fun one here. We always love coming to Bristol. Monday was a pretty fun race. Tuesday was messy. What's Thursday got in store, Connor?
We'll just have to wait and see for sure. From what I've heard from other drivers, it might be similar to how the trucks felt on Tuesday night. Although we're not starting, it's not going to be full night race. We're starting kind of closer to where the Cup race started, so maybe the higher temps might help out a little bit. This is a race that has its fair share of cautions, but so far nothing crazy. We actually set the record at this track last season with 9, and we still had great racing last season, and we also had a dramatic finish with tempers flaring at the end. But you can't beat a 3-wide finish at Bristol, and that's what we got last season. It was Travis Beckner who took the checkered flag here last season.
Oh, you could beat it with a 4-wide finish if we really wanted to thread the needle.
Good luck.
But yeah, good luck with that. But we've had a different winner each season. The first time we went here was something remarkable from Ryan Hartz. He led every single lap from the pole. I don't think that'll happen tonight, but I do expect to see a different winner here. We have Ryan Hartz, Alan Eller, James Skyerly, Travis Beckner, who's all won here before. Got guys like Jake Nichols, surprisingly, who haven't won here. I almost read the Cup playoff chart, but we got Jake Nichols, we got Philip Groner, Zachary Carr, Jeff Wright, and Zach Nichols. 4 of those guys, actually 5 of those guys. So Groner, Carr, DeWeese, Wright, Nichols, they have yet to start here in area at Bristol. So this should be a fun race for all 5 of those, Kyle, as they are all playoff contenders.
Yeah, and you can see the playoff contenders just as we've had on Monday and Tuesday. Lit up in blue if they're above the cut line, yellow if they're below the cut line. We'll see green and red for those that automatically advance or are mathematically eliminated from their chances to continue in the postseason. And so far, not a lot of blue or yellow at the top of the order here. And we've only got a few cars qualified, but you don't need a lot of time to get a time on the board here, Connor, so it'll just be a few more minutes.
Yeah, a few more minutes, and you get 2 laps, just like the other 2 races. You'll use lap 1 to kind of warm them up a little bit, get that huge run off the top lane out of turn number 4, and then you'll either keep it high or try to cut it low and take the short way around. Looks like Jimmy Miller's going to go kind of the middle, which we kind of saw that work on Monday night, and we saw a lot of people on the high side in the truck race as he slides out of turn number 4, cut to the very bottom that time by, and with 2 minutes left to go, he'll go 7th on the board, 0.2 of a second behind Logan Clampitt, who's provisional pole, trying to get another win on this season as Travis Beckner tries to become the first repeat Bristol winner in Pro Series history. He comes across the line in, cannot see where he finished there. Didn't look like that lap put him up into the top 10 as Groner went 3rd, Matthew Bell is 5th.
Last, Beckner is 19th out of 19 cars, but Logan Clampitt still atop the chart, less than 2 minutes to go. Here's Jeff Wright, one of the playoff contenders, but you mentioned a Logan Clampitt on the pole. He's looking to play spoiler for someone like Jeff Wright to possibly lock himself in with a win. Only 2 races per round, Kyle, so you don't want to dig yourself in a deep hole at Bristol.
See what he can do on lap number 2, 8th place on the first go, and this time it is going to be slightly slower, so he will stay in 8th place. Justin Munsell is on track as well in the number 6, and this time around he will not be competing in the playoffs. Remember how he was eliminated a couple seasons ago at Talladega. That was tough math there. And lap 1 of 14.956 puts him 12th.
Oh, and he is not going to get a second lap. It's going to be something we see drivers struggle with all night long. Seems like if you're running high out of turns 2 and 4, the rear grip, the rear tires just come out from under you and you have no grip. So we might see a lot of drivers struggle with the exits of these corners. Scioli's another one. He's sliding through turn 2. Really big wiggle there. Somehow held onto it, but it's going to ruin any chance at a faster lap on lap number 2. He'll have to settle for 8th right now as Braxton DeWeese, we talked about him all season long, currently the highest qualifying playoff driver in 2nd, as Okrezik's going to try to stop, maybe get another time, but he won't have time.
I mean, you can get pretty quick lap times here at Bristol, but not that quick. So it looks like Logan Clampitt and Braxton DeWeese are going to be the front row, which kind of shocking to see DeWeese up there. I would have thought someone like, James Skyerly would be up there. He's got an average finish of 4th every time we've gone to Bristol for the Pro Series. So a little shocking to see him that far down, but that just shows how strong DeWeese's car is handling.
And Connor Okrezik is only to get 1 lap at a 19.342. That's not going to matter. So he'll not qualifying, or not finished qualifying at least. Checkered flag is out here on qualifying. We'll head to the warm-up period here. Race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat, and you can earn double channel points that you can use to redeem for free merchandise for just $5 a month. Join today at twitch.tv/Area iRacing. So the challenge tonight is just to survive the 188 laps, Connor. What's our strategy look like? We're going to get a lot of yellow, so you just play it by ear there?
I would think so for sure. You're kind of just going to wait for that one somewhat long run, and then you'll go and pit for your set of tires. We might only see drivers take 2 sets, depending on how the yellows fall. I know on Monday night, I only took a set and a half of tires because I took right sides on my final stop late in the race. But we saw most tires get used up, even though we didn't have that much green flag running on Tuesday. Most people still took 4 tires at least 3 times. So we'll see what we see tonight. I think track position, once again, is going to be important, but I think tires are going to be even more important than they were in the truck race. So I would be not very surprised if we see everyone use every set of tires, but it all depends on how the yellows fall.
Yeah, yellows, we average about 6, and like you mentioned, Connor, we had 9 last year, which is a record for Bristol, but still great racing throughout all the series. And then looking through, we've only had 2 winners from the polls, so Logan Clampin trying to make that a 3rd. The furthest back that a winner has come from the field to win is the 11th position, and that was done by Scioli. So starting back in 8th, maybe he can try and negotiate his way through, Kyle. But actually, the one thing I'm really trying to look at here, Matthew Bell. He's one of the playoff drivers who needs a solid run. He enters tonight 11th in the standings, below the cut line. He's ran here twice in the Pro Series, and he's finished 24th on both attempts. But he does have 112 laps led, so he has a strong car, just needs to make sure he's there for the finish.
Yeah, and being there for the finish was a challenge on Tuesday with all the incidents and accidents. The challenge with Bristol, Connor, is that things happen quickly around here. 15-second laps, that means it's only 7 seconds from one end to the other, maybe 3.5 from corner to corner. And when you're bunched up on a start or a restart, you cannot afford to get yourself jammed up in something, especially if you're in the yellow on the door card. So there's so much you have to consider tonight to make it through 188 laps. You only have 2 rounds in this, 2 races in this round, and the next one's at Michigan, which also has been a wild card in the past, so you can't afford a mistake here.
No, certainly not. And sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're ready for the chaos to happen. You might just be in the middle of the chaos. We saw the second caution of the race took out at least 4 or 5 playoff drivers on Tuesday. We had a car go into a fence. We had a car roll down the banking. That's how chaotic it can get here. It's all about split-second decisions, but you don't even have time to make any split-second decisions. With the way these cars are handling, if it snaps loose, you have one chance to maybe straighten it out and save it. If you don't, you're head on into the outside wall, or you're going to take out 5, 6 plus other cars. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to tiptoe around this racetrack. This is one of those tracks where going slower around this track is going to make you faster, and it's going to make you safer to make it to the end of this race and make it all 188 or more laps. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Kyle, we saw that Monday night with Jake Matheson. He started on the pole, and then he fell outside the top 10, just trying to take it easy, preserve some of the tires. And that long green flag run we had, he slowly crept his way back inside the top 5. So it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Checkered flag out here in warm-up. Let's get our Central Mobile Homes starting lineup going here. Looking for a small or large home, a new shed, or a Triple Crown trailer? Look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 28 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomesinc.com to get started today. Big grid, so let's get rolling with it. Let's kick things off with the front runners. Row number 1 is going to be Logan Clampett at the number 90. He's a wild card to watch. Braxton DeWeese will start alongside in second as a playoff competitor.
Big start for DeWeese to be the highest qualifying playoff driver. Blaze McKinney will start row number 2 and 3rd, and then second highest playoff driver Zach Nichols in 4th, who won his way in at Texas.
Tom Boren starts 5th in the number 16 Toyota Supra. Philip Groner starts in 6th, the number 11.
7th position, the regular season champion, to no surprise, Jake Nichols. He'll start alongside the reigning series champion, James Scioli.
Cameron Hearn starts in 9th place in the number 4 Camaro. Matthew Bell in the yellow starts 10th in the 43.
Highest starter below the cut line. John Furness just missed out on the playoffs. He starts 11th. Jeff Wright won his way in via victory, I believe, at Chicagoland. He starts 12th.
13th place is Ed Robertson in the number 64. Rafe Slate rolls off 14th in the number 98.
15th position, Shane Theory in 6th in regular season standings, but only seeded 9th. He'll start back there alongside Justin Munsell.
And then in 17th place, it's Jeremy Miller in the number 30. And Shane Abbey starts 18th in the number 84.
19th position, Alex Bell, who lost out on the playoff spot in the final laps when the big one happened. He'll start 19th. Bronson Stafford will start 20th.
21st place, Casey Lakatos in the number 50. No playoffs to worry about for him, but Greg Mitchell will have to worry about that. He starts 22nd.
23rd position, the 09 of Bryce Senesac, usually has solid runs here, and Devin T. Johnson making another start. He'll start 24th in number 3.
25th place is Ben Pierce in the number 65. Colin Fambro starts 26th in the number 18.
27th position goes for 38 of Alex Bryson, and maybe a little bit of a surprise, actually not a little surprise, a big surprise to see Travis Beckner starting all the way back in 28th position.
A lot of work to do. John Forbes Jr. starts 29th in the number 78. Matt Kemp 30th in the number 51.
31st position goes to the 14 of Connor Okrezik, and then Zachary Carr did not put a time down. He'll start back in 32nd.
Final row, Garrett Grant in the number 5 starts in 33rd. Justin Sogak 34th. Hunter Sleppy, who are you picking tonight? It's going to be hard to avoid the guys on the front row, specifically that number 90.
Yeah, that's the main playoff spoiler to keep an eye on for. I mean, Blaze McKinney, I wouldn't count him out either, but I still feel like it's one of the playoff drivers. It's hard to go against the 73 of Jake Nichols, but I will do that. I'll go against him. I'll go with the 7 of Scioli.
Connor?
Hunter with the 7 of Scioli, that's a good one. History dictates you probably got to pick someone inside the top 10. 2 pole winners have won the race here, obviously, because Hart's led every lap here. I think Beckner won from 9th, Scioli won from 11th. So I'll go smack dab in the middle and go with the, kind of in the middle, I'll go with the 44 of Zach Nichols.
Well, all that for a Jake Nichols victory. I'll take the 73.
Oh no, not again.
Sometimes you got to hedge your bets a little bit, huh?
Makes sense.
188 laps this race, if it were to go green from flag to flag, which it will likely not. 46 minutes of racing, 34 drivers. Zach Carr did not take the grid, neither did John Forbes Jr., so those 2 drivers will either start from the pits or not at all.
Big implications for Carr, who came in 7 above the cut line if he's not able to get any laps in today.
Pace cars off. Let's go racing. Round 1 of 5 in the area of Florida State Builders Pro Series playoffs. Green flag of a racing at the last great Coliseum. Clampett leads lap 1. Braxton Deweese on the inside of Zach Nichols in the 44. He's going to go up to the high side here and try to roll that outside groove. We'll see those grooves play a big factor, especially on restarts tonight.
And one thing that played a big factor in the outcome of the race Tuesday night, Hunter, is where the pole sitter started on the bottom, but it was second place who got the lead away with Matthew Batby, and he led majority of the race, and Seth Knoll ended up getting caught up in trouble. Notably that time, Clampett picked the outside for the initial start, and it paid off.
Yeah, that's usually what happened on Monday night as well. The leader chose outside lane and then just gets that good jump from where the start of the restart zone is. So already seeing that early on as Scioli and Nichols duking it out for 7th. But here comes Matthew Bell, that pink number 43, rolling the top.
Making moves up there early in that 43 car. Ripping the outside. Remember, he started this race in 10th, so he's up 2. Outside lane early, Connor. Is there grip up there yet, or will it come as the race goes on?
I think there's grip up there right now, and even if there's not too much up there, I think you will see drivers up there near the end of the race, but that's where we saw in practice and qualifying. It got really tight there at the 48 and 43, but it got really sideways on a lot of drivers on the corner exits. That's why I think you see most drivers be conservative running the bottom, but like these guys back here, on the outside, they can't help because they're just stuck on the outside, like Connor Okrezik, Colin Fambro, Rafe Slade. This 84 Abbey has a big moment there. Now they're 3 wide, but this is how quickly things happen. You almost have no time to react. Everyone did a good job getting around there that time, but sometimes you have no choice but to run the high line. But it is sketchy up there as Groner tries to make a move.
Yeah, looking to get 5th from the 16 of Tom Bourne. He's doing just that. And might look for 4th here from the 87 of Blaze McKinney to the inside, but already seeing that outside lane starting to work itself in. Wouldn't be too surprising, Kyle, if we see these guys, most of these guys up here within the next 10 laps or so.
48 almost got squeezed up there. John Furness tracing that battle between the 48 and 43.
it's no surprise to see Clampett just painting the very bottom line. Zach Nichols is doing a good job keeping with him. These two are the guys who dueled at Texas. Zach Nichols won that duel to get into the playoffs on 2 tires versus Clampett. So he's one of those drivers who could definitely kind of avoid the spoiler at Clampett by just beating him straight up. And that 44 looks fast.
Oh.
Someone had a slide out of 2, but seems like nothing happened, or at least a yellow didn't come out because of it, whatever it was.
Yeah, we stayed green.
Travis Beckner, one of the biggest movers of the race so far. Right? He's jumped all the way up to 17th after not getting a good starting spot. He qualified, I believe, what was it, 29th?
28th, so pretty much.
28th. But nonetheless, he's still showing that he's got the speed. If only he had the track position to showcase that.
More smoke. No one's slow, though, that I can tell, although it is getting pretty jammed up here between these guys up inside the top 10.
Philip Groner's made his move past all this. Jake Nichols has now moved back into the top 5. Tom Bourne's up into the top 5. I'm seeing the 48 also go 4, but notably I'm seeing Braxton DeWeese go backward. Qualified 2nd, but he's already back into the 7th position, and John Furness is about to take that away from him.
Keeping it parked on the bottom, wouldn't be surprised if he's just trying to save some tire very early in the going, but tell you what, these two not preserving anything. Logan Clampett and Zach Nichols, they've been stuck to each other essentially since the beginning of this one.
And trouble for Devin Johnson. I think he tried to reset, but too late. First yellow, lap 17. Here's what's happened. Had issues on Tuesday. This might have been a little bit of assistance maybe. No, he was all on his own. Just gets up out of the groove and simple spin to the inside. 17 laps too early for tires, or are we coming?
That's a tough call. Honestly, I would probably, as a driver, want the tires, but the track position is going to be important. You do not want to be in the Hornet's Nest, so I would be surprised if the 90 pit, for example. But I think majority of people would stay out here. The fall off time-wise was not that far, and it's not as simple as having fresher tires to get to the front at a track like Bristol. As pit road is open. Looks like Philip Groner, Jeff Wright, Tom Bourne will come down. Nope, Wright and Bourne stayed out, and it's a lonely island for Philip Groner.
Would you ponder taking 2 just to split the difference and see what you can run on with 2 freshies?
No, I don't like 2 tires here, Connor. I don't think that makes sense.
I'd be scared to try it if you don't have previous experience with it, but if you do want to test, maybe for later in the race, it's not the worst thing in the world, but and especially for someone like Philip Groner, he came into this round with a 20-point cushion to the cut lines. So if he wants to experiment, he probably can, but you got to be very careful doing that, as he was literally the only person on the front straightaway to come down to pit lane. Nope, Ed Robertson to come down. 5 or 6 people pit there, but that's a big loss in track position for sure.
So under the first yellow of the night, got 17 lap run in there. And Connor, you talked about the challenges of the setup. It didn't seem like it was as bad as the trucks, but as the aggression level picks up, we'll probably see some drivers make some tricky moves later as it goes on.
We might see bumpers used later. We might see the doors get used a little bit, but I think at this point, most drivers are so worried about sliding the tires and spinning themselves out in front of the pack that you're just probably not going to see that until way later in the race. So we'll see if anyone wants to change that and the aggression picks up earlier than we thought, but with how sketchy it looks, I'd be pretty shocked.
Doubled up for the restart here. It'll be lap 21 when we go back racing. And Clampett chooses the outside lane. And here we go. Lap 21 of 188. Green flag, and we're back underway at Bristol. Jeff Wright up to the high side here, trying to steal one from Zach Nichols. This 48 car, one to watch here tonight for sure, with the strength he's shown on short tracks in the past.
He's one that, in the past, he's kind of struggled at short tracks in other leagues, and specifically this one, he has not been great at the short tracks, but looks fast so far. He's had good runs at Bristol before, and he's going to be the next driver to try to chase down that 90 car. It's going to be a tall task today for sure, though.
slotting himself in second in front of the 44. Meanwhile, Furness looking to try and close in and maybe make a move. He's just going to stay to the bumper. Meanwhile, some side-by-side action behind.
It's Blaze McKinney in the 87 underneath Casey Lakatos in a nice pink livery.
There's chaos in the back, or at least it sure looks like it, as Travis Beckner's peeking into the picture. Now he's looking at Bryce Senesac. That would be for the 12th position after starting just inside the top 30, so already a pretty quick climb. And he had a very good climb through the field on Tuesday night after being in an incident, so he knows how to get through the field here.
Just picking them off one by one as the 09 tries to regroup on the outside lane, just like the 50 of Lakatos. Getting around the 7 of Skyler, trying to do so on that outside lane. Skyler going to drop to the 10th position, still running the bottom. Almost everyone else, well, kind of mixed bag, running the outside lane.
No challenges for the lead just yet, although Jeff Wright has cleared Zach Nichols for second spot. And lap time-wise, Clamp is a hair quicker at the moment, but deeper in the field. Jeremy Miller in that 30. He's got a hornet's nest around him right now.
It's kind of a theme of his area career. He's always seems to be in a hornet's nest. This is for 15th position. He's chasing. He's catching a number 15 passing, and there was contact there between him and Alex Bell. A big contact, and it made me lose my words. But somehow they kept it straight. Bell lost a lot of track position from that. As now this restart, you're seeing most people, at least in the mid pack, running that top line, while you still see most of the front runners wrapping the bottom.
Starting to navigate their way towards the faster pace on that outside lane, where you can just tell from the 18 of Fambro, he gets that run off the corner. The car on the bottom makes it up for it in the turn, but on the straightaway, that exit. Whoa! Oh, man. Fambro just gave a little door slam to the 15 as Munsell nearly loses it in 1 and 2.
Battles here midfield. Alex Bell trying to recover some spots here.
When you slide them once, we talk about it all the time, all week here. You slide them once, you're not going to get them back right away. You're going to be sliding for the next 5, 10, maybe even 15 plus laps. So he's got to be really careful about where he's throwing his car into these corners and out of these corners as well. As Beckner almost into the top 10. I thought that was for a top 10, but that is for 11th. He goes by Scioli.
Yeah, Beckner's on a real move right now, Hunter, isn't he? This really good progress here early, from 28th to 11th, and still has the nose on the car, and it's still early in this race. So loving the progress we're seeing out of this.
Indeed, as he surprisingly entered 6th in the playoffs, so starting in the back definitely didn't do him any favors, but this definitely shows that Beckner is capable of running inside the top 10. He's got the pace to do so, as another car going around. That's Jeremy Miller in the 30, passing Skyly for 12th.
And for second place.
Colin Thornborough and Cameron Hearn in the inside wall down the back. Big damage to both those cars.
Oh, that is a lot of damage. What have those cars done?
Done crashed.
I'll say they were running nose and tail on the outside lane.
Ooh. Oh, off the 4, and big hit for really the 18 primarily.
There was definitely space between those cars, but they might have hit anyways. Hearn a little too close to Fambro, and probably on both of their nights. So I think we got our other caution around lap 18. So we kind of had two 15 to 18 lap runs here, as we'll see who wants to pit this time. Looking at Philip Groner, he made it back up to 18th, so really didn't make that big of a difference. And it looks like everyone else is going to take their tire set this time. And gonna look at Groner. I would not be surprised if he stays out here to regain that track position, as he won't be the only one. Rafe Slate, Justin Munsell, I think Jeremy Miller stayed out as well.
So this splits the strategy here. I'm interested in this. See how this plays out. Early enough in the race, I think you can bounce back from this, but I'm not sure. I think this, I probably would have taken this opportunity to hit pit lane, because I think you can make it to the end from here right on fuel.
We probably can. If you look at the yellows that we likely have, fuel should be fine. The only concern really is tires. So Miller, Slate, Munsell stay out. I don't believe they've been to pit lane yet, but we know Philip Groner certainly has been to pit lane, so you'll have the fresher tires out of those 4. If I'm not mistaken, Clampett's out of pit lane first, then it's Jeff Wright, then Zach Nichols. Bryce Senesac comes out 4th. as he did take, I don't know if he took 4 or not, but he comes out right in front of the 73.
I believe he took 2, 8 seconds. That'd be a pretty fast 4-tire pit stop. In the
I
spinning car.
thought he took 2, but I saw the left sides go up, which really confused me. That's no bueno if you take the left sides.
Doubled up for the restart again, lap 40 this time.
And you'll see, it's interesting to see what these drivers who haven't pit do. I know Anna Sogak's been in pit lane. I don't know if Alex Bell has been. This could be one of those that really shuffles the field up.
Yeah, about 9 cars have stayed out on the racetrack or have older tires than the rest of the field behind. Green flag, we're back underway again. Miller and Groner take us to the green. Groner in the outside lane in that yellow and blue car.
Another good jump for the leader, but not as good as the 90s jumps were, as we'll note the pressure tires progress through the field as Groner's trying to become the first playoff driver to even get a single bonus point.
Watch the 48, 3 wide to the bottom. He is not waiting around, is he?
Trying to go fast around Garrett Grant, and he made it work there just barely, as the 5 just has to give way as Philip Groner goes to the race lead. First playoff driver to gain a bonus point.
Big crash. 5 and Grant's around.
Beckner
27. That's
Matthew
a big
Bell.
one.
2 playoff drivers there, Beckner and Matthew Bell.
Oh, that was a huge hit for the 5 of Grant. And I mean, in front of, what was that, 3 or 4 playoff drivers? That was insane.
I'd be shocked if there was only Beckner and Bell in that one. Hendry County Motorsports Park instant replay. Beckner looks 3 wide middle,
Oh, yeah,
and that was awkward. Kind of looked net Cody. And that 5 hit a ton.
So now what? Yeah, I think you just kind of stick with your strategy now, right? Too quick after the restart to do much about that.
Unless you're totaled, yes, you're staying out. But this is exactly what Philip Groner and Justin Anna Sogak want to see, especially Anna Sogak. I don't think he's cracked before this call. I don't think he had cracked the top 25 all race. So this is definitely a strategy I think he needed to play just to get some track position.
I went and did a little investigative journalism on the 09. He did take 2 tires. Said it worked for him Tuesday night, so thought might as well try it again tonight. But he was, I think he was caught up in that wreck, so I'm not really sure if that plays into effect anymore.
So the 27, how much damage does he have?
It looked pretty bad.
Was that his hood flying?
Can't get a great look at it.
His hood went somewhere. Maybe it's back on the car, but I saw that hood go somewhere. I don't know how Scioli and DeWeese were right in the middle of that and somehow avoided danger.
And just in front of that was the 73 Nichols. He got through just in time before that happened.
Sure did. He was probably, him and Philip Groner, they might have been the only 2 drivers that could even afford bad nights. You never want one, but you get that buffer in the regular season, you can at least maybe survive it to not be in a must-win. So I think that strategy actually played out for Groner, that yellow came out, because he would have been right in the thick of things if he just pit with everyone else again.
Groner leads, 27 laps on his tires, matched with Anna Sogak. And then 46 laps for the next 3, 8 laps for Clampett and Nichols in behind.
Yeah, and Clampett did a good job. He's still the first one on fresh tires. No one got ahead of him on that strategy, so that's important for his race. It's also important, he's probably going to start, well, no, he'll start on the outside too, so that's even more important for him to be starting on the outside. Could probably make moves up there easier than Zach Nichols would be able to on the bottom.
Yeah, just a reoccurring theme that we've seen throughout the week. As I believe we're going to get the one to go here, but Kyle, I was going to mention before you made your pick, Jake Nichols has only had 1 start here in the Pro Series, and he finished 22nd.
Well,
in that
it's
start.
Bristol. Give him a second. Give him a second, guys.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, flirting with disaster was almost caught up in that last wreck.
Benefit of the doubt, considering his area record, I guess. I guess that's what we'll rule.
Yeah, also, Anasogak going to restart second here. His best finish was 15th at Bristol, so he's pretty much due for a better finish at this track.
Doubled up for the restart. Pace cars off. Groner and Asogak. Green flag, and we're back underway. One more time. And Asogak got a nice launch on the bottom. He's going to clear Slate and pull up into second place.
I haven't mentioned Rafe Slate yet. He's also on this strategy. Stayed out. Now he's third. He had an up and down day on Tuesday night for sure. But as Logan Clampett's already made his way back up to the fourth position, he'll hunt down Rafe Slate momentarily.
And Clampett, we mentioned looking to play spoiler. He's trying to take these wins away from these playoff drivers. And 3 wide, Jeff Wright on the bottom, nearly losing it. Jeremy Miller stuck in the middle.
Oh boy, the 30 car is just absolutely sandwiched.
Here's Zach Nichols. You're trying to run away from that, and he does. Oh, Tom Bourne slides off of 4. Caution. That might have saved a lot of other people, though. What's going on up ahead?
No, it just gets loose on his own.
Banking transition can be awkward when you're on the bottom. Just gets the car sideways. No way to save it. So we'll get another restart.
Clampett's just inching closer and closer with these yellows in between. Can't really get a good long run going for that 90, but nonetheless still working through the field. Same with Zach Nichols up to 5th, Jeff Wright 7th, and Jake Nichols 9th. So half the top 10 are full of playoff drivers.
It's not really surprising either at a track this tough like Bristol. The playoff drivers, unsurprisingly, are going to get to the front of the field.
Ooh, Slate's going to come down pit road. Yep.
Guess why not, but I liked where he was at on row number 2. But we'll see how that works out for him.
It's interesting with how spaced out the playoff contenders are. The furthest one back is Matthew Bell in 28th.
And that's not even counting Zachary Carr, who's not even in the field tonight. At least the way I have the points updated, right now below the cut line would be Beckner, Mitchell, Carr, and Matthew Bell. Obviously, Groner would be top of the board, leading if he were to win. And if Justin Asogak could finish where he is, that would be a big jump because he was below the cut line, currently projected plus 14. So any finish inside the top 10 would be a huge win for the 88 because it's not the first time he's won a super speedway and gotten into the playoffs. The last time, season 4, he was out in the round of 12, trying to improve on that this season.
Now, one driver we haven't mentioned, the 9 of Shane Tiernan, he's running 15th right now. I was looking through his stats at Bristol. I'm very impressed with he's made 3 starts in the Pro Series. He's finished top 5 in each of them. And his best finish was 2nd. So he knows a thing or two about running well at Bristol. But I'm shocked that we haven't seen him climb inside the top 10 yet.
And if you remember last season, it was 2 1,000ths of a second between him and victory at this track. It was Beckner with the late dive to make that win. Therien wasn't happy about the move, but all's fair at short track racing. Therien's been close here, and he could be close again. He did not lead that many laps last season, but he did get to the front when it mattered. So we'll see if he can do that once again with still such a long way to go, as probably 2 to green, maybe 3 to green, as Beckner's still repairing damage and that destroyed number 27.
Did he get the lucky dog?
I don't
Says he's on the lead
know.
lap.
I don't know if he is. Don't know. He might have gotten a lucky dog. There's no one else running with him besides Shane Abbey 4 down, and Matthew Bell is going a 9th lap down, getting repairs.
Alright.
Doubled
we
up.
got the 1 to go.
Yeah, we'll see what Groner can do out in front this time with the 44 behind him, and Logan Clampett there on the bottom with fresher tires.
This will be hard to defend for Groner once Clampett gets there, but Clampett being on the bottom kind of neuters his attack, at least for the time being. Maybe makes it a little bit tougher.
Green flag, lap 57, and we're back underway at Bristol. Nichols is going to clear not one. He might go for two here on the outside of Groner.
He's got to go. He's got to get up there before the 90 gets to him. They're on even tires, actually, so Zach Nichols got by the 90, and that could be huge for this race. Zach Nichols going to go to the front.
Big pass there as Clampett's going to look to get around 11 of Groner on the outside. Jeff Wright making his way in. And how about Jake Nichols fighting for fifth from Manasogak and then outside the top 10. Looking further back, that's Greg Mitchell in the two, door-to-door with Senesac for... Actually, no, that's... is that Ed Robertson? No, who was that green car down there?
McKinney in the 87.
He's McKinney.
It was the black car. Nonetheless, still intense battles inside the top three as Wright's trying to get past the Clampett machine.
Miller and DeWeese in the 13 there.
Oh! DeWeese had a moment.
Wow, that was a huge, huge save. He's got to be really careful with the rear tires now. That green car.
That's
green
Tyrion.
That's yes.
The 9. But for the lead, Clampett's trying to get that bottom, but Zach Nichols shutting the door, having to do everything he can to defend, because as soon as that 90 gets up there, he's probably going to drive away.
Clampett chasing down Zach Nichols, both on the bottom of the racetrack. When does one of them go to the high side to try to protect or advance? This time Clampett goes high.
And Clampett's trying everything he can to get that track position back. Zach Nichols is also driving as hard as he can to keep it. They're just going to keep alternating lanes until something gives, I would think. You want to be on the bottom for tire saving, and Clampett knows if he pushes the 44 hard enough, if this run goes green long enough, he'll get that position later. So this is all about trying to push the 44 harder than he really wants to go. And I think it's probably working right now because they're both gapping Jeff Wright. It's 0.8 of a second back to the battle for third.
Wright's got Groner beneath him. He's got Jake Nichols trying to get around on the outside as we're looking at the rear of Zach Nichols. No relation between the two Nichols, but still running inside the top 5. Both of them are, as the 90 of Clampett's just hounding that bumper of the 44.
Two drivers pulling away from the rest of the field. And now Jake Nichols filters into third place, a little bit of side-by-side deeper. There's Alex Bell, Jeremy Miller, James Scioli, and O'Krensik. I haven't seen a lot of the 7 car tonight.
Definitely kind of been in the hornet's nest most of this night, and he's just been trying to fight out of it, but they can't really do that big slide. I think Blaze McKinney had a slide. He saved it, but really off pace. Curtis is going to try to get the spot. I think he will, but now they're 3 wide off the corner almost.
Tough spot to be in as the 13 of DeWeese trying to maintain his pace. Nearly lost it a few laps ago down the backstretch, but holding his own as John Furness looking to fend off the 14 of O'Krensik. We'll have a look to the inside.
Miller sneaking up the outside of McKinney now, trying to snipe that spot up to 9th if he can hold it. And Logan Clampett making inroads here on Zach Nichols for the top spot.
Well, these two fight and really push each other hard. Jake Nichols is going to start creeping up on these two soon enough as they get side by side again. They're pushing each other to the limit, and somehow the 73 still closing in as the 44 chops the nose of Clampett there. Put dirty air on the nose of the 90, but with how sideways these cars are looking, that dirty air might even help the 90 a little bit as he's going to look to that, try to get that right rear again, but just doesn't have the momentum through the corner to do so, as this Hornet's Nest is still not settled. Stafford, Munsell, Tom Bourne in there as well, along with a few playoff drivers in Thieren and Greg Mitchell, just trying to find some track position. They haven't had it yet.
Yeah, it's kind of been stuck. Him and the 9 of Tyrion on that outside lane, trying to follow the tire tracks of the 6 of Munsell as he's looking to get around the 61 of Bronson Stafford.
13's kind of in a rock and a hard place here, isn't he? He's got pressure from both sides and behind.
And this is going to really be tough to handle for him. It's going to be not a very fun time, as Matthew Bell just got back on track to salvage some laps, but this is a 13 just trying to make up some track position. I think he's going to... Well, there's contact. Miller and Scott Dooley, and they save it. There might be big damage to that 7. I don't know how they kept that straight. Is it over yet? How damaged is Scioli as well?
Lead, here comes the 90, and you see the smoke clearing.
Clampett's faster. He just can't get that overlap that he needs to complete this pass.
Gonna have company with him soon, as the 73 is still inching closer and closer to this battle for the lead. Gonna put Clampett in a tough spot here, because what do you do now that the 73 is there? Do you just try to send it for the lead, or do you defend on the top and prevent the 73 from going?
More smoke ahead. There's lots of sliding happening on the racetrack right now. 3 drivers battling for the top step here. Clampett's not in the playoffs. The other 2 could throw themselves through to the next round with a win tonight.
That win would be very important. We've already said it. You do not want to have to deal with Michigan at all. We've said it in all 3 series, so that ticket would be really, really important for both of the Nichols brothers from other mothers, as they both run top 3. And it was the top 2 gone. Now it's the top 3 gone. Jeff Wright is 2 seconds back of this battle. These 3 are in a league of their own.
Yeah, Nichols running that, or Zach Nichols running the bottom, Clampett running that outside. He's preventing the 73 from getting around. Meanwhile, back and forth, it's a little gaggle there. Jeff Wright, John Furness, Philip Groner, Justana Sogak. The 11 and the 88, surprisingly, even though with 20 lap older tires, still holding their own inside the top 10.
I would say it's definitely worked out for them, especially the 88 with where he was running. This is a big step in the right direction.
Big guy for the 90 at Clampett.
He is trying. He knows if the 73 gets by him, he might not get another chance under this run to get the 44. So it's tough to play offense and defense at the same time, but he's going to have to play both sides of the ball. And now you can see them all kind of going up towards that outside lane, just that defensive lane, very easy to keep your position up there. So it's going to keep it on the bottoms. Just try to get something going down there.
Pretty good job of playing on both sides, still making aggressive sends for the lead, and then still fending off the 73 of Jake Nichols. But yeah, at some point, the straw on the camel's back has to break, so something's got to give. Either he goes to the lead or he loses second to 73.
This is a great fight between these 3. Different motivations for each of these drivers. But Nichols looking very strong at the moment. Started this race back in 7th place. It took him a little while to work his way to the front. But what happens when we get to lap traffic? How aggressive are you if you're in the playoffs? You're having a good night. You really need to push that hard.
I would think you probably just try to ride it out until the very end. I don't think you get too aggressive in traffic unless you're going through lap traffic with like under 30 to go. Then you're probably going for it at that point. But I think early on, if you catch lap traffic before you're under 50 to go, you need to really be conservative and only take the runs when it's absolutely necessary.
Oh, look at that send from a long ways back. He's in the fence. He just pulled the nuclear button and went for it, and it did not work.
Okay, I can't say I was ready for that, Hunter. That was halfway. It's basically halfway, and he's like, all right, I might as well go for it.
That's about as early of a Louisiana dive bomb as I've seen. We're not even. I think, are we even halfway? No, we're not even halfway through this race.
Yeah, we're not halfway.
he made a desperate move, and I mean he's still there even with the damage on the right side.
But at least he knows what works and what doesn't. He knows that doesn't work because he didn't even get the lead at the line out of it. So figure out a different way without wall bouncing. That is illegal. Don't try that. But when he's sideways, this is what gets tough when you rile the tires up like that. You lose your grip. He might have had his one and only shot right there if he doesn't get the tires back under him.
Well, not to mention hitting the wall definitely doesn't help. But in the midst of all this, back between 4th and 8th, the 7th position was swapped between Okresic and Justana Sogak. Scioli's still in 9th after contact with him and the 30 of Jeremy Miller, and Rafe Slade has entered the top 10 with newer tires than anyone in the field, about to be 40 laps on his stint. Jeremy Miller's down to 25th after that contact with the 7.
Yeah, somehow, sorry to cut you off, Kyle, but somehow I think Scioli got away with no damage, but that 30 looks totaled. And Beckner's actually, he already has had crash damage. He got up to 19th, but he's starting to fade as well. As this battle won't go away, as Jeff Wright is actually starting to close in on these top 3 a little bit.
Yeah, while they're fighting, I think they're using a lot of tire. Logan Clampett's using his body work too while we're at it, but we're just clicking off laps left and right here. And Clampett feels the pressure because of the 73. Maybe that's why he felt like he needed to get by the 44, like he's being held up and using more tire.
I'm honestly surprised. Yeah, great run. I was about to say, I'm honestly surprised Zach Nichols is even.
Oh, boy!
That's what I'm saying. I'm shocked Zach Nichols is even running bottom because it lets Clampett get these big runs and have these attempts at big lunges. If I'm Zach Nichols, I know he doesn't want to run the top because of the tires, but he has no choice because he's leaving himself vulnerable to get doored or ran up the track by the 90.
Not to mention the 73 as well, still running the outside lane. He's got a great view of the battle that just won't die. And they're closing in on lap traffic, so this is going to throw a new meaning into this battle as the 48's trying to steer clear from the 28 of John Furness and look to make this a 4-horse race.
Yeah, Furness last time by was the quickest of the top 5. Now they're chasing each other up the hill, opens the door for Nichols. This is a great fight, though, between these 3, isn't it?
This is incredible stuff. I mean, I can't believe we saw a dive bomb that big before halfway. And it's going to have to figure out how to do that without hitting the wall and how to. And next time he does it, he's not going to keep that second position either. He got away with keeping that runner-up spot. So he's got to figure out some way. If he has to pressure and maybe get into the 44 a little bit, so be it. But the risk of that is he calls that yellow. It doesn't go over well, especially when you do that to a playoff driver. That's the other thing he has to balance, Hunter. You don't really want to rough up a playoff driver any more than he almost already has.
Furness in the fence. And
him and Okrasik made contact through 3 and 4.
The 48 was losing a spot here, and then the 28 sends it. He just gets loose.
Whoa.
And then they get together.
That's about the same thing, Hunter. I don't think as big of a dive as he's almost on the bumper of Zach Nichols, but that was just too far into the corner that time.
Yeah, a little too much there, but the battle lives on outside of this battle for the lead. That just, again, it will not cease to exist. It's just always the 44, the 90, the 73.
Oh, the 44 sideways.
Whoa.
Saves
what
it.
A save.
Here comes Zach Nichols.
Yeah, that gives the second spot up for grabs. The 73 is going to have a strong run. Try to clear the 90. He's not going to be able to do it. That outside lane's too strong.
But now, I don't know whose advantage it is, because now Zach Nichols' tires are going to be heated up, and he's not going to have any grip.
Well, he might have a few laps to cool him back off if he's smart about it here. While those two were fighting, he gained a little bit of time. So that might just be enough to let things cool off a little bit, but Clampett right back to second.
Clampett did a good job just letting him settle back in and keep the car straight. Now he's going to be right back on the attack. And what he was trying to do there, I think he was trying to get the right rear in the middle of the corner and be able to hold it on the exit to finally have that overlap. He just cut it a little bit too close as he has another big wiggle there.
Yeah, the 73 still not close enough to get a good enough send in and make a move on the 90. Meanwhile, back you see fourth is up for grabs. Jeff around the outside of Frederick's looking low on him for that spot. Scioli's up to sixth even after, like you mentioned, Connor, I don't even think he got damage from that. He's still climbing through the top 10. Groner down to 11th, or 7th in the 11th. No, I was thinking of Sesame Street, Grover.
Man, these two, Clampett and Nichols, I mean, what a duo this has been. And Zach Nichols just gets to watch this out the rearview mirror. If he wasn't so busy, he'd probably enjoy this battle.
They might still enjoy it afterwards, but this is definitely high-stress situation when you're going this fast around the track as Clampett dives to the bottom this time, so they switched their lanes. But high-stress situation when you're going around the track this fast, you don't have that much off-throttle time, and you're fighting the wheel to go along with it, having to have huge throttle control, be able to get around these corners without sliding. It is high stress, and they're handling it pretty well, and they've all three of them really had some slides.
Captain, I believe that's Jeremy Miller, the lap car up there, so that's going to make this a little bit more interesting as he's kind of running that outside lane, and now the 73 is going to have a look to the inside, and Clampett's going to let him go.
Finally.
think he probably realizes his tires are past their best buy date, and the 73's probably saved himself a little better just watching those two battle. And maybe he thinks Jake Nichols can bring him back into this fight, as I thought the 48 and 14 are about to hit there as they went past the screen. They did not. They kept it straight. Oh no, they're hitting this time though, but and right at the wall because of it.
There comes Scioli. He's about to crack the top 5. Well, trying to. The 48 still got the outside lane, so he'll have to run off the corner, but impressive climb up for the 7 of Scioli. I think he fell as far down as 14th, maybe? And then he had that little skirmish with the 30, who's going a lap down now from that, but somehow it hasn't affected the 7. But battling to get inside the top 5.
Scioli to the bottom of Jeff Wright. This is for P5. That 7 car trying to gather some momentum to go forward.
Now we've got Just Santa Sogak. He's gone back to 11th. Groner's back to 8th. As Scioli, I think, is one of the faster cars on the racetrack, but that contact with Miller and the stack up that ensued just put him back so far. Even, I say so far, but he's only 2 seconds back, so it's not quite out of their own possibility he gets up there, but that looks to be struggling. Matthew Bell comes down the pit. He's multiple laps down as the 2 Nichols starting to catch more lap traffic. That's Travis Beckner with damage. We'll see if he tries to fight this one out.
And for the lead, the 73's trying to get around the 44 on that outside lane. I think the long run's starting to kick in, and now Jake Nichols looking to take over as the leader as Zach Nichols tries to block. Here comes, actually, playoff driver Travis Beckner trying to stay on the lead lap. Going to be a little factor in this.
Goes to the bottom of the 27, and for Beckner, night started pretty well, but P24 now, and he's scraping the wall as Nichols drive on by.
And he has got nothing to really fight in the corners. That I'm sure there's all sorts of suspension damage. He has nothing he can do. Now he's just got to hope for a well-timed yellow. And thankfully, he has a big gap to the next lap car, next lead lap car in Ed Robertson. So he has plenty of time to try to wait this one out. He has to try to stay in front of a 30 of Miller as well. As that 73, now we're once again back to the top, but now it's Logan Clampett running the bottom. They're both cutting down out of the corners. It's really fascinating how different the lines are. Lap by lap, they seem to be running different corners.
Don't count out that 14 of Okresic. He's starting to creep in. He's about a second back now from the 44 and the 73 duking it out for the lead. But over time, that 14 car has been steadily closing in on the leader. Same with the 7 of Scioli. It's down to about 1.6 seconds between the 7 and the current leader, the 44, Zach Nichols.
Nose to tail here still, and Tom Bourne is around on the front straightaway. They might call it a night there.
Big break for Beckner, lucky dog for him, and he came up a little too close to Greg Mitchell, I think, there.
All right. I'll bite. Pit stops?
Yes. 100%.
No, I would stay out here if I'm 44.
You go stay out, Hunter. Let's see how that works out.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, why not? Be the opposite. Stand out in a crowd of everyone.
I'd say for people who are non-playoff drivers, why not? Very well could be the last stop, depending on how the runs go.
Travis Beckner is going to get the lucky dog from that.
And he gets another chance to repair more damage as 44 hangs on for dear life, keeps the lead until the next yellow, as everyone will come down the pit lane.
You know what? The big winner from that.
Look at Clampett on the inside of the pit lane here, trying to gain a spot.
I'm sure Jake will not be happy about that, but I don't believe there's anything in the rules saying they can't do that.
I don't think so either. I saw a good bit of people doing that from the previous pit stop.
That was the pass of the night.
And it was the slowest pass of them all.
At 35 whopping miles per hour.
Well, I was going to say the biggest winner of that yellow was the 98 of Rafe Slade. He drove up to, I believe, 9th, maybe 8th when that yellow came out. So he was on a different strategy, and now everyone's going to be on the same strategy as Clampett's going to come out with the lead.
I'm sure that will cause some conversation.
Wow, where's the 44?
And yeah, Zach Nichols is nowhere to be found.
Cow.
He he must have.
18.2 seconds in the pit stop, 4 seconds longer than Clampett and Nichols.
I wonder. That's interesting. He has a black flag.
Oh, wow.
Zach Nichols has a black flag for whatever reason.
Interesting.
Could it be maybe speeding? But he would have been maybe held, I would have thought. I don't know. He's not going to the rear. He's holding his position, so maybe he's trying to protest it. Not quite sure, but that's a big development because he's really dominated this race.
I don't blame him. I'd protest it too. That would throw your whole race away. Then you'd have to spend the rest of the 60-some laps trying to work your way back up to where you were. Also, Jake Nichols, 0.4 seconds quicker in the box. So that move that Clampett made, getting around him through 3 and 4 on the apron, playing huge, Kyle.
I got word, I think Seth Knowles actually watching this. Apparently, Zach Nichols entering pit lane past the pace car. So that's why he has a black flag. He passed it on entry, must have. He's still going to restart 8th, and he still has that black flag. So we'll see. I assume that's a stop and hold. It could be a messy restart.
All right, let's do this again. Here we go. Green flag, lap 129. We're back underway. Clampett fires off. And he's going to try to outrun the playoff competitors.
Good move for Okresic, trying to get around the 7 of Skyly. Door-to-door for 3rd. Sean Furnace inside the top 5, trying to get around the 7.
Yeah, there goes Nichols to pit lane to serve that penalty.
And that is killer this late in the race.
Yeah, it's game over. I mean, that's so frustrating for a driver that had such a fast car, such fast driving, but sometimes it just doesn't align. It's not enough.
And he was looking very good as far as the cut line. He'll still get some bonus points, but he will have a lot of work to do come Michigan unless he gets a miracle at some point. I saw Shane Abbey get loose, but he saved it. And now the game is Clampett versus Jake Nichols. We'll see if Okresic can play a factor in this. He's looking to have some speed, but this gets any sort of running going or any sort of run to it, it could make things interesting between those two.
Yeah, those two have had a good bit of history in the playoffs. I say that jokingly. Back at Auto Club, made a move for the lead on the last lap, ended up wrecking himself and other drivers, and led to an amazing photo finish. So don't think that there's any love lost between these two, but Clampett's certainly hoping that they can scrap a little bit and he can drive away from it.
Big battle back there for about 10th spot. There's Casey Lakatos back there fighting through everything. Not a playoff competitor. Big slide. Don't commentator curse him. The 98 of Slate slides on the apron. Everybody scatters, but we stay green.
I don't know how they kept that one out of the wall. At least Slate did for the time being, but it's still a madhouse back there for the battle for 6th on back. Greg Mitchell's found his way into the party at this point, so he's coming to the front when it matters most. He's trying to get by Anna Sogak. Therian's following him through. Got 6 playoff drivers in the same shot right there, actually, as everyone's coming to the front. Now you got 7 of the 12 in the top 10.
Yeah, 8 of the 12 inside the top 11 with that 9 on the outside looking into the top 10 as he's trying to get around in a Sogak, and Matt Kemp in the 51 just watching the playoff drivers battle in front of him. I mean, cream rising to the top, Kyle. The playoff drivers, for the most part, closing in on the top of the leaderboard.
They are, and especially the very top of it. Jake Nichols is searching for some grip. He was a little slower last time, a little faster this time. Nichols trying to find a way around Logan Clampett.
It's just going to be so hard to make that work as long as Clampett runs the bottom the way he needs to. If he doesn't run it too soft, there's nothing Nichols can do, but he almost got the right rear, almost got the overlap, and Clampett saw it and gassed it up as quickly as he possibly could. And now he's feeling the heat, so he's going to move that line back up the racetrack.
Yeah, a couple of non-playoff drivers, Clampett, Okresic. I mean, even the 28 of Furnace, 3 of them inside the top 5. They're going at it just to win. They're trying to win the race. I mean, yeah, 2nd or 3rd would be cool, but these guys, they didn't make the playoffs, and they're just going at it, trying to get the checkered flag. So they're going to do everything they can to prevent these playoff drivers from winning. As we look back at the 11th position, but in front of them, look at that, Groner, Mitchell, Anasogak, and Tyrion, 8th through 11th. Good battle there. That was close in corner exit.
44 is 4 laps down, guys. That's how long that penalty cost him, down in 25th place.
He'll have no chance of getting waved by. There's too many people, or only 2 drivers, but that's plenty to pretty much trap him 25th for the rest of this race. So as it stands right now, unofficially, he's 7 below the cut line, which is a shame because it was looking so much better earlier.
His only hope is someone from Buffalo Wild Wings hitting the overtime button and just keep hitting it and using all 3 attempts at it. But guess we'll save that for a rainy day as the top 3 continue to drive away from the 7 and the 28. Everyone else in the field, but the 90 of Clampett is the one that everyone's chasing.
Clampett has been a phenom pretty much everywhere he drives. Especially here. Going up against a juggernaut like Jake Nichols and making it look easy.
This is a heavyweight battle, no doubt. This is one of the best side-by-side battles you would see if they got side-by-side, which they were earlier. But this is definitely one of the best 1v1s you'd have the opportunity to have an area. As we look a bit further through the field, Nichols isn't really threatening quite yet. Lewis McKinney, it's kind of been a weird up and down day for him. I did see him top 10 earlier, but now he's back in the 19th position. He actually lost a few positions to Travis Beckner. Beckner's still trying to recover from crash damage. He's up to 17th for the time being.
Yeah, I think he had a moment off turn 4 there where he was near the inside wall, but nonetheless, battle for second still heats up as Clampett's driving away from the 73. Trying to roll that outside lane, get everything he can to close in on the bumper as the 9 of Tyrion, the 15 of Alex Bell are door-to-door for position.
Whoa, look at the 88 of Anasogak. Wow. Big sideways moment there out of 4. Three wide there for a minute with the 84 of Abby on the inside.
Zach Nichols is just trying to get anything he can. That might have been for a position, actually. It was, so he's back up to 24th. If there's any way he can catch the leaders, get his lap back to get 3 down, he will. Won't make much of a difference.
A little battle here for 6. Jeff Wright, Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese almost wrecked out early down the backstretch, but has recovered nicely in the 7th spot. He's trying to make up one more position as the 48 holds that 6th spot as still top 3 battling out. The 7's somewhat closed in, but it's still everyone's game trying to close in on the 90.
Connor Okresic started this night 30th. How about a climb like that? I'm sure he'd just love this thing to run out green to the end so he can secure a top 5 after starting way down the order.
That would be a pretty big victory if he was able to do so. But he's still got a long way to go to even make that happen. Anything could happen, as we saw Monday and Tuesday. The order can still shuffle even if we get past lap 188 on green-white checkers, as he's got a very big opportunity to try to fight for the win, but making 2 passes here is tough. We saw how long Logan Clampett had to work to even have a dive at the 44, let alone an actual attempt to pass. He's got to do that to 2 separate drivers in just over 30 laps.
Well, the top 3 have all migrated towards the outside lane, so don't really know much else that Nichols can do. He's got Okresic breathing down his bumper, and unless the 14 dives low and tries to get around the 73, I don't know if there's much else anyone can do other than just hope and pray for a yellow or lap traffic to play a factor in this, because as soon as that 90's in clean air, there's no stopping them.
And Nichols was a little slower. Okresic was a little slower than that. Scioli was top 5 there as far as lap times. He's looking pretty quick. He's actually salvaged a pretty good night. He was running tail half of the top 10 before.
Would exit plus 23 if it finished, but once again, this is not even close to finishing, as we're seeing how big this field has spread out. At least the top 5 have separated themselves. It was top 3, now it's top 5. It's about 2 seconds from John Furness to Jeff Wright. And once again, it's Jeff Wright that's kind of the buffer, kind of just falling back off the front runners. You can see that gap is almost majority of the straightaway, as he's still been in a battle with Braxton DeWeese for that 6th position this entire run, as Justin Sogak is trying to cling to any spots he can get. He's only 2 to the good, so he needs every single point.
He's around 11th right now, as Philip Groner and Greg Mitchell are swapping 10th back and forth, or actually 9th and 10th between the two, as the 88's had a solid night. He's stayed inside the top 10 for a majority of the night after his early pit stop, with the 11 of Groner's worked out nicely as Alex Bell slides into the 98.
Rafe Slate kind of had an up and down night, hasn't he? Started this race in 14th, as low as 30th, as high as 2nd. He's been all over the board tonight with a little bit of strategy.
Still think maybe it would have gone better off if he didn't hit alone when he did, but he's still salvaging possibly a top 10. He has a few more positions to get before that, but he's still staring at some green spoilers. A lot of playoff drivers up ahead. As I was wondering why Philip Groner might be falling back. He does have some regular damage. Maybe that's the culprit. Greg Mitchell got 9th away from him. Zach Nichols also got by him, not for position, as the 88's going to fight the 11 this time.
10th spot up for grabs. 88's going to look low, the 11 high, and swapping for 3rd almost. The 7 of Skyle, he's caught up with the 14 of Okrezik, and the 73 still holding the 2nd position as Skyley's trying to enter the podium.
So close.
Justin Munsell spinning in turns 1 and 2. I think he got a bump from Travis Beckner. Will it bring out the caution? Yes, it will.
And that changes everything with 21 to go.
Oh, we knew that was going to happen, didn't we?
Well.
Oh, yeah, there's the tap again. Let's go back and look.
I was about to point out Travis was doing a really good job just getting what he could out of the day with big damage, and yeah, he just booted Munsell there.
That's what we call a boot, skew, and boogie.
All right, so we'll see how this changes the math here.
This makes the strategy interesting because I feel like you might need tires, but 20 to go, you'd think the track position's going to be very enticing. I think you're staying or taking 4. I'd just be shocked if we saw any 2 tires as Jeremy Miller gets the lucky dog.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was going to be a lucky dog, because Munsell was a lucky dog spot, but he wrecked.
And Clampett, Okrezik.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Rafe Slate stays out. Looks like the 50 stays out. I think if more people stayed, it would have looked better. It looks a little risky right now. By the way, look at Jake Nichols' line around turns 3 and 4 that time. He was next to the inside wall.
Wasn't going to lose that spot again. That's
No.
for sure. He learned a lesson once and doesn't need it again.
He got PTSD.
Yeah.
But look at the guys that stayed out. Clampett, Okrezik, Rafe Slate, Lakatos, Jeremy Miller, all those guys, they're not in the playoffs. They don't care. They're just the only thing they care about is
2
winning.
tires.
So,
Look, 2 tires from the 7.
so my check did cash in.
I would like that call better than 4 at this stage.
Everyone gets off pit lane, tries to escort themselves off the pit lane. Yeah, that's risky, taking 2, especially when you're going to line up in row number 3, but it gives him track position.
Did Jeremy Miller pit?
He was the lucky dog, so yes.
Oh, right, okay. I was confused because it looked like he was booking it past the pace car on pit lane.
It did look fast. I guess he figures it doesn't matter. That keeps Munsell a lap down. Zach Nichols, I think he was going to hope everyone pit to take the wave. That did not happen, so he will stay 4 laps down, 24th. And that attrition rate is all right. It's decent. Devin Johnson, Fambro, Hearn, Grant, Stafford, Tom Bourne are all out of the race.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some drivers like Matthew Bell that would like to undo this. They're going to be likely a must-win going into Michigan, and you don't really want to be in a must-win going to a place like Michigan.
No, at least I would say the Pro Series race would probably be the least crazy, but I've been proven wrong on that before, so I can't say that for sure. As got a lot of playoff spoilers on that high side are going to try to make a run. Skyley has a pink spoiler. He's always repping Rick's Hot Sauce no matter what. But I think to your point, Hunter, Miller having to pit for the Lucky Dog really hurts Skyley here because now he's on the inside.
Yeah, the two-tire strategy, you'll see how that works out. There'll be 16 to go when they come across the stripe.
Here we go. Logan Clampett, Okrezik, Lakatos, Slate, Jake Nichols. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. And it's 16 laps, 4 minutes if it goes green all the way to the end. Will it do it?
Skyley, oh, big crash. Philip Groner, big damage to the 11 car. Caution's out.
Oh, man, that is...
To answer your question, Kyle, no.
Well, and the 11 is destroyed. That's it.
That is huge. He had a buffer, and he's going to use all of it here. I didn't even know what happened. Everyone was wrecking at the same time. 15 took a big hit there as well.
They just got all crossed up here, and this tight squeeze.
That's...
Spotter overlap, just really, really bad scenario there.
Yeah, that's just hard racing at the end of a race at Bristol. I don't even know if you can call it on anyone, but Philip Groner, like you said, is going to be out of this race. Came into this week, 20-point buffer to the good, and he's going to see all that vanish almost certainly.
Well, that helps the guys that stayed out get to run some caution laps and bunch everyone back up, and the 7's still going to be on the bottom.
I'm sure he wished he could have had the 73 pass him, though. But Zach Nichols did get the lucky dog there, so he'll be 3 laps down.
Told you, someone's hitting that button at Buffalo Wild Wings for overtime.
Are they hitting the button for 5 free boneless wings?
Oh, boy.
I don't believe
Okay,
so.
can we just all agree that boneless wings are better than normal wings?
Yes.
And I'm perfectly fine if we call them chicken nuggets. I don't get offended.
I don't even care. I don't even care.
They are not
It doesn't
chicken
even
nuggets.
matter.
They're not. I'm just saying, but I've heard that argument.
I mean,
before.
even if they were, it's a better form factor. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so.
I agree. You just get a fork and then you just go to town.
Dig the heck in.
If I'm paying by, I mean, everything's purchased by weight, right? So why am I paying for something I can't eat?
You know, it would go great with some buffalo. Some
Talking about Rick's Hot Sauce? Head over to rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Try the Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. How's that?
Don't use no buffalo sauce. Get some Palm Beach pineapple on there.
And probably don't eat an actual buffalo with it. I mean, I don't even know if that's legal.
Well, I think the buffalo comes from Buffalo, New York, not Buffalo the animal.
Correct.
I'm just you got to clarify. Never know what people are trying to do. I guess I was the only one who took it that way.
Yeah. So what's your go-to for boneless wings? What's your go-to? Like what sauce do you like on it?
We're talking like Wingstop?
Well, anywhere.
I don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings. So I'm like, they have like this like spicy Korean, and they have like a Hawaiian that everyone hates, but I really like it. I'm definitely like a sweet and savory guy for sure.
I agree. I like the Korean barbecue. I tried the Hawaiian once. I couldn't do it. It's just too sweet.
I'm a basic like Buffalo Ranch type of person. I tried the Buffalo Wild Wings like Carolina Reaper rub once, and I was dying for half an hour. Never again. Tasted good, but not able to handle that level of spice. We'll see how spicy it gets here, though.
Carolina Reaper level?
I'm sure you guys up front are hoping not.
We'll find out. Here we go. Logan Clampett trying to bring this one home. 10 to go from Bristol.
Well, if a jump like that, it'll work.
Brezek got the second. Now he's going to try to chase down Clampett. Slate's trying to get third, but Lakatos is there. Here we go, 3 wide.
7 on the bottom. That's not going to work. Is
It
it?
might.
Oh, it might. Still 3 across.
Nichols hit the wall, lost some momentum, and this is just letting the top 2 get away as Scioli's clear of Slate.
Oh, there they go.
Spun right in front of Jake Nichols and Jeff Wright. And Therian gets damage out of it, and the caution's out.
Well, the 7's still gonna line up on the bottom, but he's gonna line up without damage.
I think it's the right move. You gotta go at some point. You can't just wait for him to get out of your way because he's not going to. Nichols hits the wall there, and I think Slate stays his line, and Lakatos has lost it. And don't know how much damage Jake Nichols got, but look at the Jeff Wright did such a great job getting on the brakes there, though.
I was looking at Beckner and Greg Mitchell. Beckner gave the boot to Mitchell in the 2. Trying to check up for that.
And that killed Jake Nichols' run for the win, probably. It dropped him back to 7th, having to check up for that. I think the nose is fine, however.
Only one playoff driver inside the top 5 after that. I mean, you got a plethora from 6th to 10th and even outside of that, but...
Look who is in that 10th position. Look at the car.
I mean, it's like a phoenix rising from the ashes again. What a night it's been for Travis Beckner. He had genuine pace, got caught up, had to spend some time on pit lane getting things repaired, and here he is salvaging a night. And this it wouldn't be the best result he could hope for, but honestly not bad, all things considered.
With the front bumper, how damaged it is, I think he'll take it 100%. And that thing's looked wicked this entire race. So I think he would almost certainly like it to finish where it is now, as someone's engine went kaboom. I don't know whose that was. That might have been I don't know, maybe the 50s? I have no clue. Could have been someone on pit road. Either way, we'll get another restart here.
Will this be with 3 to go?
Likely. Could be 2 if we get a 2 to go this time by. Not exactly sure where we're at.
By the way, the engine at blue was Matthew Bell. I think he parked it because I think he figured he couldn't get any more spots. Also, Philip Groner did get back on track, which I did not think that was going to happen.
2 to go, so we will be with 2 laps remaining at the restart.
This is still playing into Clampett's favor to have less laps, and especially to have 2 tires on your bumper instead of 4. That's going to prove to be a big advantage as well. All those guys on 4 tires have not made any ground.
So an unofficial overtime attempt.
And as it currently runs, there's a tie on the cut line with Anna Sogak and Greg Mitchell. It would be Zach Nichols down 2, Zachary Carr down 10, and Matthew Bell back 15.
All right, 1 to green. And it'll be 2 to go. What a Kresick if he could steal this.
It's going to have to be the restart of his life. He has to be almost pretty much throttling up before the 90. He's going to have to cut it that close. And we saw Clampett time a restart perfectly at Texas, and Okrezik's going to have to replicate that.
We've seen Okrezik be aggressive for a win in the playoffs in the past, so it should be fun.
Here we go, 2 to go from Bristol. Green flag, Clampett accelerates away from the field.
Nichols goes 3 wide immediately in the background. And they're going to be side by side for second. Furness has a big run off the corner.
Will they get back
to the white?
Here we go. White flag, and we will get there. And here comes Furness to the bottom. Could he steal this away on fresh tires? 30-lap fresher tires. They're wrecking back there. No mind, no matter. John Furness to the bottom of the track. Out of turn 4. Checkered flag, and he will steal it. He does. Wow.
I didn't even clock that he had fresh tires. What a restart. And there was calamity in the background. Braxton DeWeese got 3rd. Right 4th. Scioli, Beckner, Nichols, Mitchell kept the top 10. It's been a while. John Furness has been waiting for that.
a big old plume of smoke around the last great Coliseum, and that one just kind of was like an RKO out of nowhere. John Furness just comes through and snatches it on the last lap. That's the second straight season that last lap pass has been made for the win at Bristol.
That was unreal. I don't even know what happened in the back. I think Rafe Slate was the first one I saw spin. But what a finish. Clampett gave it everything he could off the corner, but he just ran out of room. Everyone ran out of room.
Ran out of road. Here's the 98, and what happened to him, I think he just walks up the hill. He's going to get tagged by the Anasogak car, and that's where all the crash happens.
And that is a shame for Anasogak. He had such a good run going, and he did not get the finish that he probably deserved. And Pierce rolled down the two people.
Two cars rolled over.
That's 3 flips this week. I don't know how he did that quota.
Here's a look at your race results. Furness, Clampett, DeWeese, Wright, Okresic, your top 5, and about half of the top 10, maybe a little bit more, are your playoff competitors. Greg Mitchell in the yellow snags a 9th place. As we look down, Therian and Anasogak also in the yellow, up in the mix in the top 20. But trouble for Zach Nichols and Philip Groner put them down the order. Matthew Bell, 26th. And the tail of the field there, Zach Carr did not get a start tonight. Let's talk with Braxton DeWeese, who is 3rd place tonight. Braxton stealing a P3. That's got to feel good. Quickly, take us through your thoughts tonight.
Yeah, it was a very interesting race. At the beginning, I just wanted to try to run the bottom and try to save some tires, and we had some people go on the outside past us, and they got a caution to where, that definitely helped them out. So we just had to bounce back from that and be able to start up on the outside for the cautions. That was definitely helping. And be able to start 6th there. I knew we had a pretty good shot to get a good finish out of it. So I'm happy to be talking to y'all.
Braxton DeWeese, P3 tonight. Braxton, thanks a lot.
I appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
John Furness steals a win on fresh tires in the last possible moment. You led tonight 1 lap and maybe just the last 50 feet. Take us through your night, John, quickly.
Yeah. I'm glad to finally finish a race off here. It's been a tough season, but things finally went our way tonight. Just kind of rode around all night trying to stay clean. Made a slide job that didn't work early in the race and decided I just want to get through this and finish, and strategy happened to go our way, and finally got a W that I feel is a little overdue. So,
well, John, congratulations. A really nice run tonight, stealing a win. No, not a playoff competitor, but just in there to win it. Congratulations. That looked like a lot of fun, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And guys, I got to get rolling. I got a situation to deal with here. But quickly, final thoughts, Connor, on Bristol tonight, the last great Coliseum.
We always liked how the way the Xfinity cars drives. They didn't disappoint. They were definitely a little squirrely, but we had some great green flag action. 3-car battle for the lead. Non-stop action with Clampett and both the Nichols, brothers from other mothers. But green-white checkered, had tire strategy. At the end of the day, we get a spoiler, but not in the way we thought. I think John Furness only led 1 lap and got the victory, and he's been waiting for that one. So congratulations to him. Zach Nichols, Anasogak, Zachary Carr, Matthew Bell are projected to be below the cut line for Michigan.
Hunter?
February 2023, it was season 3, the last time I almost said John Forbes. So John Furness went to victory lane. It was at Auto Club. He snatched it at the last second. Unbelievable. Can't wait to go to Michigan next week.
See y'all from Michigan next week. Kyle Heyer, Hunter Slempe, and Connor Horn alongside you. We'll see you there.